What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Almost Brothers podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Dunklin County Transit.
DCT, anyone can ride. At Dunklin County Transit, our goal is to provide safe, reliable, and accessible transportation options to meet the diverse needs of not only Dunklin County, but our entire Southeast Missouri community.
We are committed to ensuring that all residents, regardless of their circumstances, age, or income, have access to essential services, healthcare facilities, employment opportunities, and recreational activities, and more.
Through our transport services, we aim to enhance mobility, promote well-being, and foster community connectivity. You can go in the show notes below, click the link to DunklinCountyTransitMalden.com, or you can go to the website dctsmalden.com. That's dctsmalden.com. And don't forget, anyone can ride.
He still isn't.
No?
You're going to need to be bigger. That's really where we're at with it.
Oh.
There's a table there.
And it's crooked.
Leave me a...
Oh. Is the phone crooked? You got to fix it, man.
It's going to bother Mike the entire episode.
Lord have mercy. Man, I tell you, like, Rich, you've passed over into the like full on dad mode with the dad.
You said that the last time I
okay.
wore this. It's the same comment.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I am a dad, and I'm proud of it.
Man, it's like the G.I. Joe t-shirt that says "Dad, a real American hero."
True story.
Hey, yeah.
What? I saw a post. I thought about sharing it. It said something like, it said, I can handle my alcohol. Me 20 minutes later starts talking about starts talking like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I thought about sharing and be like, I don't need alcohol. It's on a daily occurrence.
I just
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
I was not. I didn't know you started recording.
Yeah,
so,
my bad.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
No, I don't even.
Sorry.
That's messed up.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead for real.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Dang.
I lost my thought. Were you gonna say, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Almost Brothers podcast.
I don't think he was.
No?
I was about to say that.
On today's episode, we are going to be talking about where is the line drawn?
We need that button.
Yeah, we really do. Yeah. Yeah.
Need more buttons.
So as always, we have Tata. How's it going?
Yeah.
All right. What? Rich, how's it going?
It's good, man. His idiocy never ceases to amaze me.
I have a college degree.
Yeah,
but not in Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
So yeah, we're going to be talking about the line that is drawn. So we were kind of talking a little bit about Brandon Lake and kind of getting in a little bit of, I don't want to say trouble, but just people talking.
He's getting in the waters.
Yeah, getting in the deep waters.
The deep dark waters.
Of where's the line drawn as not even just a Christian, just as anyone in general. If you're a husband, then there's probably places that you shouldn't be. Like, where is the line drawn? Where is the, okay, I probably shouldn't do this, even though doing that maybe it won't be a bad thing, but just keeping yourself out of that situation. So Tyler, break down what you started with.
Yeah. So I love Brandon Lake.
We know.
We yeah. Okay. Just
That's really it.
Start off with that.
So Brandon Lake has been doing stuff with Mr. Jelly, Mr. Roll, Jelly, Mr. Roll. And he was at Stagecoach. Was it last week or two?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm done talking.
sorry. It was just the jelly, Mr. Jelly, the roll.
Mr.
Anybody?
Roll.
No?
Mr. Roll.
Buttered roll.
I would so address him like that. Anyways, he was at Stagecoach, like 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And there's people on the fence of, is he, kind of working his way into quote unquote Hollywood and all that stuff? Or, is he, living out the commission of go out and, spread the gospel, make disciples and such?
Yeah.
So what, and it all comes down to heart, right? It's where your heart is in those things. And I know he got a lot of pushback just by choosing Jelly Roll for Hard Fought Hallelujah. Of all the Christian artists that he could have chosen,
he chose none of them.
He chose none of them. He went with Jelly Roll. And it's an amazing song, and they did a great job. But I'm of the same opinion on Jelly Roll, because he, depending on who he's with, is what he proclaims.
Yeah.
And it's a frustrating thing to see.
Especially for, Christians that are trying to break through in the industry, trying to get, because when you get up there, your job is to then look behind you and help someone else get there.
Right.
As opposed to, that's what frustrates me, is when you get artists that finally make it, and instead of helping someone else make it, they're looking around them at who they can connect with.
Right.
So in that instance, when he did the song with him, it's like, okay, great, awesome, fantastic. How many Christian artists are just as good that haven't got that breakthrough moment yet?
Right.
That he could have, it would have changed their life.
Right.
It would have been a moment, but instead he decided to step into the other lane.
Right. But I will say, on the flip side of that coin, with him including Jelly Roll, it did reach an audience that it may not have if it had just been played on Christian radio. So, I mean, there is another side to it. So it's hard to say, what is, like you were saying, where is the line?
Because there has to be one.
Right.
Because that's when the slippery slope happens.
Right.
Is you think there's no line, and then all of a sudden it just moves a little bit at a time, and now you're 100 miles away from where you should be.
Well, and there's those circles inevitably come with temptations.
Yeah.
There's the money is a temptation. The people you're around are a temptation. These events are attended by people that don't have the same values that Christians do. So there are all kinds of temptations out there. And we had a missionary that was a biker missionary.
Yeah.
Right. So they would go to Sturgis.
Yeah.
And they were very adamant about staying away from certain places in Las Vegas,
right,
or in Vegas and Sturgis and different places.
Right.
And you have to, because while you are there to spread the word, you cannot put yourself into a position for people to question your Christianity.
Right. Right. Leaders are held to a certain standard to where your reputation, not even what you're actually doing, your reputation has to be protected. So even being in those places, you are already putting yourself in a position for people to start talking.
Right.
For people, would it be okay for a missionary to go to a strip club and start preaching?
No.
So there's a line.
Right.
So we understand there are lines somewhere.
We are understanding that they exist.
Yeah. So the question is, where is that?
Yeah, and that has to be on an individual basis. I used to be an alcoholic, so I'm not going to a bar to witness to people.
Yeah.
That's obviously not my field of expertise. I wouldn't stand outside a bar and try to hand out pamphlets to people.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody does that anyway. That's just my point is there are everybody has their own temptations,
Yeah.
It's personal convictions that you have to be aware of as well.
Yeah. Ty, what do you think with your boy?
I agree with what Richard said. It comes down to heart. Obviously, there's a line for everything, That's you're talking about, where you would go. So, say, you as a pastor, say there's a woman at your church and she's struggling, you wouldn't go to her house alone and pray for her, because
no matter what the heart is behind it, because we could say that all day, and that gives people an excuse to go, yeah, but my heart is in the right place.
Yeah.
So
your body's not.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's a great point. That's a no matter how innocent it is, no matter where your heart is at, that is a place you just do not go. Mm-hmm. You don't go, not because of the heart is wrong, not because it in itself is wrong, but because of the optics of it, because what it would look like to people on the outside. Like it or not, that's every leader, every Christian, every, Christian musician, that is part of it. Right. It's the optics of it. Mm-hmm. If you're on a bus and everybody is on drugs, even if you're not doing it and you were just there hanging out and you were just there witnessing, the optics of it don't look good. Therefore, you shouldn't have yourself in that situation.
Right.
We'll be right back.
Well, hey there. This is Mike from the Almost Brothers podcast. We want to thank you for checking out this episode. I want to ask you, has this podcast encouraged you in any way and you would like to give back? Well, guess what? We have a way that you can do that. Okay, you could do $3, $5, $8, or $10 a month. What this does is this helps financially support the show so we can continue to put out good content and encourage you. So if you've got time, go down in the show notes and click on that support button that will take you to the page to where you can give back and help us to continue this thing. Back to the episode.
What I'm reminded of the Jesus Revolution movie. Mark Laurie, is that his name?
Greg
Laurie. Mm-hmm. And he was influenced by the people he was around. Who you have in your circle matters. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I say it to my kids all the time. It matters who you are around. So allowing people to influence you, that's the opposite of what we're called to do. And that's, you can be as strong as you want to be, but at some point you're going to be like, well, maybe.
And it should grieve your spirit as a Christian. Mm-hmm. It should grieve your heart to be in those circles and see these things happening. Mm-hmm. He got him and whatever the group was, the singing group, they had a lot of flack. They were at the Grammys when all the
Maverick City,
when all the demonic stuff was going on, and they just kind of sat there and continued. I myself, my spirit wouldn't allow that. I would have had to look.
I gotta go.
I've got to get out of here. Like, this is not. I don't want to be tied to this.
Right.
So again, there has to be that certain line where it's like, look, this is not the best situation for me to be in. I need to remove myself or not put myself in it in the first place.
Yeah.
Because Lecrae got in that same instance where there was like a sidewalk preacher, which they drive me crazy anyway, but that's a whole nother episode. where he went to a Wu-Tang concert and the guy was talking to him about like, why are you here? Why do you feel the need to have to say, well, I need to be here so someone can witness to them? Well, you can witness to them without going to the concert.
Right.
So it's like, where is that line? Because if we just say, okay, well, as long as they have good intentions, well, then anybody can do anything and just say I have good intentions, and we have no way to gauge what we should and should not do.
Right. Yeah. We watch American Idol, as has been well documented on this show.
Boo.
You leave Carrie Underwood alone.
I'm going to take away your buttons. So, and this is about your girl Carrie Underwood.
Oh,
but they had the praise night.
You leave Carrie alone.
I'm not. But it was an amazing thing to do, and I'm glad they did it. But the exact day that the praise night was, I saw a TikTok of Carrie Underwood on stage with Papa Roach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cussing and dancing in short shorts and all this. And then that night on American Idol, I see her giving one of the most beautiful How Great Thou Art versions I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And all I could think was the video of her with Papa Roach. It lost its ability to witness to people because of the other people she's around.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. like I love Carrie Underwood for her voice.
We know.
Her voice, and she's and quite a few of her songs. I started questioning a little bit when she basically went on tour with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a songwriter, and I'm trying to write more Christian songs.
Man, that one you sent us, sorry to interrupt. That one you sent us was really good.
That was
thank you.
amazing,
Really
yeah.
good, man. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, it's so good.
I think obviously there's a line, but with I don't know how, but there's songs that I think it's okay if they're not like I don't know, quote unquote Christian,
like worship music.
like I've written songs that they're not about God,
Right.
But I think people can connect with them,
Right.
And
well, you write a song about your wife.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily a song singing to Jesus, but it's still,
it's I mean, something like that, taking delight in my wife enough to write a song about her.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote a song about a friend passed away, taking delight in the time that I had with him.
Yeah.
In that sense, I think, that's okay. And I think that's okay for, proclaimed Christian songwriters to kind of be on that line. But at the same time, it's, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it into words. Really, it's a line. You can't. If you are proclaiming that, you shouldn't cross it. But I think at the same time, it's okay to understand that some songs are coming from a heart of worship.
Yeah.
In that sense,
and we do need people in those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
In certain spaces. Like we need Christian actors that are in other movies other than like the Lifetime Christian movie.
Oh, yeah.
So we need Christian actors in Hollywood, the Chris Pratts and the, people like that. We do need those in those spaces. However, again, there has to be a line, a Christian actor in Hollywood doing normal movies. Like I know, the guy who was in the not the Longest Yard. What's that movie with The Rock where he had the big board?
Walking Tall. I know you're talking about.
Neil McDonough.
The blonde guy.
Yeah.
Like devout Christian, like outspoken. Cool. In Hollywood. There are certain movies, certain roles that he says, I just will not do that because I will not cross. He will not do a scene with another woman where they're kissing. That's not his wife. He just, he has set that line and said, I just will not do that. Even though that would be well in your rights as an actor to do that. If you are a Christian surfer, a professional surfer, there's probably certain outfits, certain things that you just will not do because you say, I'm just not going to cross that line. So there's a way for us to be in those spaces without fully being, okay, I'm all in. I'm going to be backstage with these people. I'm going to be, hanging out while they're doing what they're doing, but still be in those spaces and still be friends with those people.
Yeah. And that's something I thought about as a musician too, because I want to get out and play different places. And there's a friend of mine that, owns a bar and grill that I reached out in the past before to play there. And then she reached out again. I was like, I don't know if that's a place where I should.
And bar and grills are tough because some of them are more grill than bar. And some of them are bar
and
than
that's
grill.
and that's one that's more bar than grill.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's tough. And essentially there would be nothing wrong with you playing there. Like really, that wouldn't be you backsliding, you getting out of your faith or anything like that. It's just you've said you just had that. I don't know. That's not a feeling that's just from you because if it was us, you take that opportunity. Hey, it's an opportunity to play. No, what that is just that knowing that, man, is this going to look the best if I do this? So that's definitely out there. I try not to go anywhere in a room with a female, even in the church with open doors without someone else there, just because I don't want us walking out and somebody looking and seeing, so there just has to be that awareness and that certain thing. And I think that a lot of artists, a lot of people in Hollywood, because it's happened 1,000 times and it's all started just like this. There have been, Katy Perry started in a worship band. She was a Christian singer.
Her dad was a pastor, wasn't he?
And it started just like this. The same excuses, the same. Well, you got to be friends with sinners. And then they're completely.
There's a lot of singers. Whitney Houston.
That's kind of how I see Lauren Daigle. I'm iffy about playing her music, especially in church, because, again, and no judgment. To her. Well, as Christians, we're supposed to righteously judge each other, hold each other accountable to the beliefs and rules that we say we follow, and some things that she said and things I've seen her do, it makes me not necessarily question her faith, because her faith is her faith, and I don't know that, but it makes me question her, I guess, ability if you are a Christian songwriter, Christian musician, you're a worship leader. Yeah. And that makes me question her heart as a worship leader.
Yeah, because we get to choose our leaders. We get to pick, okay, am I going to let this person influence me or not? Right. So we are to look at them and go, is this the greatest person for me to be looking up to, or not necessarily judging their walk with Jesus, but judging their ability to be a leader and someone that we look up to and use their material and use their, their influence as something that shapes us, know, because it's all throughout music. It's with the Christian artists that instead of going with the Christian label, they go with the secular label. That's who they decide to sign with. And it's and that's fine. That's great. That's awesome. Again, you need people in those spaces, but the question then arises, well, why? Why sign with them and not with the Christian label?
Yeah.
Why go and do a concert with Jelly Roll and not go do a concert with an up-and-coming Christian artist? Was it Forrest Frank?
Like Tyler Hayes.
Or Tyler Hayes. Why not look out and reach out for a hand up to somebody instead of planting yourself in those circles? Why can't we have the equivalent of Hollywood in the Christian sphere? Right. To where now we're the thing that everyone's trying to get into, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah. We had a pastor from Generation Church down in Tennessee come up 2 weeks ago, kind of do a leadership thing, and he said something I can't remember exactly. Basically, was saying, if you try to attract God, God will attract people.
Right. And that's, I think, if we just stick to mimicking Jesus, he didn't plant himself in those circles. Those circles came to him. Yeah. Even the religious, the Pharisees, he didn't have to go and plant himself and I need to be a part of this. No, he went and he did his ministry, and God called people to him. Right. People came to see him. People came to talk to him, whether they liked him or not. It draws them in.
Well, it's the same thing with what we started talking about, Brandon Lake. With his popularity, he doesn't need to seek people out.
Right.
All he has to do is be Brandon Lake, and people will come to him.
Yes, and that was the point I was going to make when you were talking about, well, it's reached out to a larger audience. Mm-hmm. It's already reached to a larger audience. Just look at how many downloads. He didn't need to do that to get people, to get eyes on him. Right. This dude is selling out concert after concert after concert. So that excuse, if he was like an up and coming Christian artist that then did that, okay, I could see, okay, this is going to help. This is going to help kind of get me out there to where people are now kind of looking at what I'm trying to do, and I could proclaim Jesus. Get it. Absolutely. At this point, especially in I'd say normal, everyday, middle American families. Brandon Lake is as big of a name as Jelly Roll.
Oh yeah, probably bigger.
Yeah. So that excuse I think kind of goes out. Well, he's reaching out. Not really.
Right.
Not really. He's so his songs have already been sung on American Idol.
Right.
Like this was going on years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not something
it is a question that I would love to have Brandon Lake answer. Why?
Oh, come on.
Why did you choose Jelly Roll over anybody else?
And to me, I'd love to hear the answer, but I don't know if there's a good answer to that.
Right.
Why have you not?
I'm sure he has his answer. I mean,
oh yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is we need to bring Brandon Lake on the podcast.
Absolutely, that'd be. I don't know. Tyler already it's like it's hard for him to remember things. Like if he comes on, he's just
there'll be no Tyler.
Tyler, what do you think about this? So Graves into Gardens, has 94 million views.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That was only from 2019.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's such a hard line to walk, man, because you really do. You want Christian musicians in Hollywood. This is a big one for me. Where are the Christian comic book writers? We want Christians in every sphere of life. We need Christian people that are. There's nothing better than watching a basketball player sit on the sideline with his Bible. It's awesome having them in those spots.
Well, and there are people there are comic books that are Christian based, but they're generally pretty corny.
Right.
Terry Blackstock is an amazing Christian author.
Yeah.
And she writes crime fiction that is really, really interesting. Like it is so good without the cuss words and the graphic stuff, but they're really good mysteries. We need people in those circles to produce as quality of work to show God to people that will actually get those works. The Kendrick brothers, their movies, they're huge.
And I think what has happened is church has taken that, and this goes to what you said earlier, Tyler, is that church takes those skills that people have, and instead of helping them flourish in those things, saying, "Oh, awesome, you write crime fiction as a Christian. It's clean, it's cool, it's interesting. We're going to help you in that." Instead, they tell those artists, "Well, you have to. It has to be about Jesus.
Right.
You have to write it about Jesus." So then, what becomes corny about it is they're all exactly the same.
Right.
So what you were talking about with music, like every song you write doesn't have to be about Jesus for it to be worshiping him, for it to be a good thing, So it's like we need to take those people that are artists that want to go out and draw anime. Awesome. It doesn't have to be an anime about Jesus.
Right.
It can be, oh, cool, go write a good anime. That's awesome. We want to support you in that.
Right.
You have we came across this one guy. He was a Christian worshiper that worshiped by DJing with turntables. Churches don't help people.
They don't turn up.
Right. I see what you did there. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
They don't take those. It's oh well. Do you know how to play piano and guitar? And so it becomes the same. It becomes cookie cutter. It becomes to where we're not getting innovation out of the church. Right. Innovation comes out of the world, and then the church has to adopt it.
Because it doesn't fit into that mold that we have for years. This is church.
Right.
Yeah.
We're in this box.
Yep.
That's church.
Yep.
And we can't step outside of that box.
Yeah, and we've severely hurt ourselves to where now the church is so far behind in all these areas, all these categories, all these extra things that now we don't have a foothold in any of that. So it becomes corny. It becomes every Christian movie is exactly the same.
Right. And I think when it comes to things like that, going back to the Brandon Lake thing, I feel like it almost gets to a point where people like Brandon Lake feel that same way.
Yeah.
And we've got to do something drastic.
Yeah. Get more exception out of that crowd than they do their own. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and I've never been the type of person that believes that secular music and movies is the only thing a Christian can can use
can
or
produce,
can produce.
Yeah,
They can consume whatever.
Yeah, consume. Yeah.
You know, there are. I love 80s rock. I love it. Now I understand that the culture that created was bad.
yeah.
But the music that came out of that
Right.
was phenomenal. And most of it it's not Christian by any means, but it's not bad.
Striper.
You know, it's
Remember Striper?
it's been a long time, but but it's,
Everyone knows Striper.
but just because it's not glorifying God does not mean it's demonic.
Right.
Well, it's almost like you take something like that and like drinking your coffee. Are you doing that for God?
Right.
Right.
It drives me crazy.
What are you dressing? Are you dressing for God? It's like we.
Yeah, because you hear that, like, that's a thing, like, that's a real, like, well, if you're not doing that for God, then what do you do? And it's like, you could be doing things, not directly going, I'm doing this for God, and still be doing it for Him. Like, you're raising your kids, you're watching movies, you're playing video games, you're going on walks, you're doing all these other things, not thinking so much about, I'm going to go on this walk for God.
Right.
No, you do it, and you have Him with you, therefore, you're doing it, you know, so... Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, well, you got to make sure if you ain't doing it for, music is a big thing. So they, only listen to Christian music. Okay. The Happy Birthday song isn't Christian. Star Spangled Banner isn't Christian. I mean, it's like, now let's calm down a little bit.
And
like, it's okay.
And you can get really silly with it. I mean, it's just nonsense.
Yeah. Now, again, there's still lines to where, okay, maybe that's not the best music for you to listen to. It's got bad language. It's got,
100%
killing in it and all this. But like, there are so many, my favorite bands are non-Christian bands because it's just good music. Jack Johnson and Death Cab for Cutie and a lot of these bands. I know y'all.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
it's music I enjoy. I love the Beatles. I've just been falling more and more in love with the Beatles recently, and it's like, this isn't music that is glorifying God, but it is great, beautiful, amazing art.
Right.
It's not a bad thing to go look at a picture of the Mona Lisa and think it's beautiful art. He didn't draw it, he didn't paint it to go, I'm praising Jesus here. No, but that doesn't make it doesn't make it bad. It doesn't mean it's not something you can enjoy.
In a sense like that, I think in a way, I mean, it might be a stretch, but I mean, that's in a way kind of celebrating humanity, God's creation.
Yes, right.
And our individualness and uniqueness.
It's not a stretch at all. God created us all with our own gifts and ideas and uniqueness.
Yeah.
That's not a stretch at all.
Yeah. And it was like testimonies. It's not written in the Bible. Our testimonies aren't written in the Bible. That doesn't mean we shouldn't listen to each other and take account of each other's testimonies and things like that.
And it makes you wonder how many of the artists, like we talked about earlier, that started in the Christian circles that are now outside of it, how many of them were kind of pushed out,
right?
By the church? Like, oh, I want to be creative in the church. It's like, oh no, we don't have space for that here. You can't,
right.
You can't be, outside of that box. So and then, okay, well, then I'm going to go elsewhere to find out where I can be. Yeah. The whole, the not working on Sunday. Well, Sunday is the day of rest, even though it's not. It's actually Saturday. Saturday is actually the day of Sabbath, but we have made Sunday our day that we do it.
But it's white people church tradition.
But it's like, so then you kind of rule out professional football player.
Right.
They work on
that's their
Sunday.
main day.
Yeah. So it's like,
well, pastors
work
on Sunday.
That's true too. That's a
their
good
main
point.
work day.
So it's like,
wow.
It's like we have to be able to take what people are doing and what the gifts that God have given them and allow them to flourish in the church,
right? And
allow the church to be able to use it and allow the church to help grow those people and say, hey, this is a space for you to do that. If you're gifted at that thing, hey, we want to lift you up. And we, Christian rap, we're lucky that that's even a thing anymore, because they kind of had to go and make their own thing outside of the church.
Yeah.
And then finally it got accepted into the church, as opposed to, this kid saying, hey, I love this genre of music. I'd love to do it for Jesus. And the church going, cool. How can we support you?
Right.
Instead, they, no, that's not the type of music that we do here. And they kind of push them out.
I can't stand Christian rap. I can't stand rap at all. But absolutely thrilled that it's an option for our teens.
Yeah. Yeah, because and that's the beautiful thing. There isn't a genre of music, of types of movies that you like that there's not a Christian option for.
Right. I love Skillet, Disciple, those harder rock.
I was going to say, all the older folk, all rock and metal's the devil's music.
Right.
You're telling me a guy in a band screaming for the glory of God is devil music.
Right. And I remember I had an older lady, this was years ago, that was just dead set against it. Like, okay, cool, I want to show you something. So I just went and printed out lyrics for like multiple songs. And so I want you to read these lyrics. She said, this is awesome. It's beautiful. Oh man. Listen to the music, play the music. This is what it is about.
Right.
Like if you read the words, if you know what goes with it, if you see a concert where this guy that's up there headbanging and screaming, and it seems like, oh my gosh, what is going on? That then at the end stops and gives a sermon and an altar call.
Right. And it's okay for you not to like a certain thing,
right?
Or not to understand a certain thing. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. That's the point.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that there are things out there for people that like that specific thing and not for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that's where I'm so tired of tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Like I'm not going to use the word hate. I dislike 99.9% of hymns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because growing up in church, which I'm thankful for, but I grew up in, and I feel weird saying this too, old people churches where it was, 10 a.m. Service starts and it's everyone's grandma and grandpa, great grandma and great grandpa, and their 4-year-old grandkid, and we sing 2 hymns and message and that's it. And that's what I grew up in, and I was bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just not for you. And that's okay. It's the same as if an older person that likes the hymns goes to a church to where they sing all upbeat music, that's probably not going to be for them.
Right.
I always tell,
and it seems like that generation, they only look at it one way. Well, I don't like that music. Okay, well, there's a lot of people that don't like your music either.
Yeah. And then, because I wrestled with it for a while, the hymns versus, modern worship music. And I feel like the generation that grew up with hymns, had hymns, and they loved hymns. It's almost like a kind of like the King James Bible. It's that way, or it's not biblical.
Right. And what they have to realize is there was a day where the hymns was the new modern music.
Right.
I don't hear them singing these psalms.
Right. Yeah. Right. So. This new worship music, like your music was new worship music at one time.
And that's then this give me on another thing. That's what I hate. Oh, I'm not going to use the word hate. That's why I severely dislike
use the word that I've used twice.
about the people like, oh, they don't make music like this anymore. Good. They're not supposed to.
Right, that's the whole point.
There's a natural evolution of these things.
Yes.
It's supposed to change.
Well, it's the same with movies. It's the same with cars. It's the same with phones. They don't make it like they used to because it evolves. And it doesn't mean, I've had this conversation, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, it doesn't have to be broke for it to be improved.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It can work just fine for the time.
But it can be better, too.
But it can be improved. There's a reason why we don't use the same. We could find a Nokia that works now. But there's a reason why we don't use it, because phones have improved. Doesn't mean it's broke. It just means there's been better made.
People love air conditioning.
Yeah.
There was a time we didn't have that.
Right.
Indoor plumbing. I mean,
right.
it is
Microwaves.
Anything. Just because it's
pool
new
noodles
does not mean it's bad.
Right. Or that doesn't mean the old thing is bad.
Right.
It just has changed.
Yes.
Everybody hates that word, but we have to have that. Why? Because society changes. The church, not the message, the church itself has to change with culture. It doesn't have to be affected by culture, but it has to change with culture.
Right.
If it doesn't, church becomes irrelevant because culture has now taken off in a whole different direction to where the church is no longer relevant to the world we live in today.
Right.
It has to stay relevant. That's why live music came in the church. That it's literally the whole reason of why the Bible was translated into the common language.
Right.
So that it can appease the common people so that they understand what is going on.
So we didn't have to learn Greek.
And right. And I think a lot of churches figured that out when a thing called COVID happened. And most of them wasn't up with the times, didn't have an online presence. And they go, uh-oh, now everybody's staying at home. And maybe 20 years ago, we should have caught up with the times and actually getting cameras and running a live feed so that people sitting at home can watch.
Sure.
You know, and they lose all these people because everybody goes home and they have no way to reach them. They have no way to serve their people. Well, yeah, because y'all refused to get with the times and update your stuff.
And there are still people post-COVID that say that you shouldn't have live feed because it encourages people to stay home.
Right.
Instead of understanding that that's an availability thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
right.
just
that you have people that can't.
Yeah.
You have people that are sick. You have people that don't have vehicles.
I was going to say, I have a friend that's been coming to our church and for like a stretch of 5 weeks, he wasn't on Sundays, and I reached out to him. He was like, yeah, one Sunday this kid, I think he's got 3 or 4 kids. Like one Sunday this kid was sick, one Sunday this kid, and then one Sunday my wife was sick. And, but he was like, but I've been watching every Sunday.
Right. Life. Well, now we have where the nursing home watches our services.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have people that are home ridden. We've got a lady here that works at the church. Her husband can't come to church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He physically cannot. Watches online. Because we have that available to them. Right. You know, you have people that just cannot make it. You have people that do work on Sundays and would like to go back and watch the message and still feel like they're a part of church.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, yes, in a small sense, of course, you have some people that are like, well, I could just sit at home and watch it. Absolutely. I think that happens far and few in between.
Yeah.
You have far more people that is another option for them to watch.
It's a resource.
Yeah. You know, so you have to get with the times. You just have to.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
Guts to do it.
Well, we were going to do a new segment that we're going to do next time called Taste Test.
He's been saying this for the last 3 episodes.
I know. So I want y'all to come up with some good things that we're going to do. We're going to do the chicken nugget challenge.
Yeah.
We're going to do sauces. We have to guess what sauce is what. That's going to be really good. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
And then we're going to do some where we taste stuff that like maybe none of us have ever tasted or one of us really like and the other two
That's going to be
haven't.
fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's one. Ooh. Name brand versus off brand.
Oh, that's good. And see
Blindfold.
which one's actually better.
Yeah.
And
like
blindfold and you have to, yep.
Like, I know one. Pop-Tarts.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh my gosh. Like, have you ever tried like the Kellogg? I'm like, Kellogg's Pop-Tarts are nasty.
Great
Give me
value
the great
where
value,
it's at,
baby.
boy.
Oh, what? No.
Yes.
you like the
I
Kellogg?
like the name brand.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no,
No, man.
I got
So we'll see if you really do like the name brand or if it's the name.
and that's
Blindfolded, you have to taste and see which one you
Miracle
like.
Whip versus mayonnaise.
Oh.
Miracle Whip all day long.
Yeah.
I hate regular mayonnaise.
I don't know if I'll be able to tell the difference.
Oh, wow.
Because I like both.
Doesn't mean you don't know the
I'll
difference.
get both, and like I don't know, put my finger in one, lick it, and then do the other, and be like, "What's the
Why are you
difference?"
sticking your fingers in mayonnaise? Everybody got to use that.
I'm never using condiments at your house.
It was just an example.
Oh, it's a metaphor.
Get over yourselves.
Well, we are going to do a segment, though, called That's What's Up. Something you've been listening to, reading, watching, playing throughout your week. What do you got?
I just started a new book series called the Ranger series.
The Ranger? Okay.
Yes. It's a fantasy novel series, and I'm only about 4 chapters into the first book, but it's I'm hooked already, so I'm hoping it.
Are you? Is that the audiobooks?
Yes,
Okay.
I don't physically read anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, same.
I can't, man. I'll fall asleep. I used to be an avid reader for years, and now I will fall asleep. It's like melatonin. I mean, it's just like
just right to bed. Yeah. Right. Yep. That's what's up.
that's really we finished several shows, and we're talking about starting Suits. Actually, we talked about starting that, and it's there's a new show called Long Bright River that we thought about watching. So
Okay. Ty, what about you?
So we finished the other day, Great American Family, the docuseries on the Natalia Grace,
Yeah.
yeah,
The little girl that wasn't a little girl. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
so crazy. You got to whisper.
Are
it.
you scared she's here? Like, whisper.
She can hear me. No, I think I'm gonna. They have an actual documentary on Hulu. I think I'm gonna watch. We're in the middle of The Rookie. I don't know if we're in the middle. We're just
I've
watching
been told
the
by
new
multiple
episodes.
people to start that.
It's a good show.
It's like action. It's action packed, and there's a comedic element to it,
absolutely.
and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they always, it's almost like The Office. They have a funny cold open scene, and it's
good stuff.
It's funny.
Who's the Nathan
Fillion.
Fillion? He's like the main actor on it. So
Yeah, he was
it's
It's pretty funny.
Good show.
Yeah.
We haven't started the new season yet. We're waiting until it's all on there.
Yeah.
Brandon Lake doesn't have any new songs this week.
His album's coming out next month,
Oh my gosh.
June 6th, I think.
Well, he's already done the contract. We talked about
Right.
it a lot this
Got us,
episode.
yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I got to fulfill my contractual
the
obligations.
Nintendo Switch too.
Oh
No.
gosh.
One
No.
for Hill.
Oh.
What?
I have
There's
to say
nothing new about it.
it. I have to. It doesn't matter. I have to say it. So I said it.
All right.
Is that you just have to say One Tree Hill?
Yeah, just at least once during the episode. So there it
That's
is.
so funny.
Chad Michael Murray said so.
That's funny.
What do you got?
So I went and watched a movie Monday. It was fantastic, really good.
I've never heard
called
of that.
Until Dawn,
Yeah.
based off of a PlayStation video game. So good. It was really good. I was pleasantly surprised. You know, I went in just like, I want to relax, go watch a movie, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably going to go back this Monday and watch something. But there are movies coming up that I'm very excited for, so I wrote some down. You got Superman, 28 years later, Tron, Megan 2, which is, I don't know, and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
No, was that legit coming out? Like
Yes.
legit?
Yes.
Legit.
Yeah. So I'm
he's
really
lying
excited.
to you, Tyler.
Well,
Really
I've
excited
seen it on
about that.
Facebook, but I wasn't sure because people post that fake stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fake stuff.
Yeah,
out there.
so I'm really excited about some upcoming movies. Of course, summertime, kind of some of the better movies start coming
Yeah.
out. So I'm really excited.
That's always
about
been
that.
the case. Summertime's always been the
summertime
release date.
blockbusters.
I heard they're making a Now You See Me 3.
Yes,
I saw
I saw
But
the preview for that.
It doesn't
too.
have the originals.
It does.
Except for the
It has all of them.
Jesse Eisenberg.
No, it has all of them.
Does it?
Yeah,
You mean Mark
The-
Zuckerberg?
yeah, because I watched the
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I watched the preview for it, and the way it has it is he goes out on his own, and he's like, "Oh, they're all dead to me," but they all end up
Okay, cool.
showing up, and it's all.
So I do have a question.
But it doesn't look good. It
does
does not
not?
look good.
Okay.
No, it
Well,
doesn't.
I have a question because I know that you have not done very well
Yeah,
at our challenge.
Yeah.
I know me and Tyler are doing very well at ours.
yeah.
So I want to know why you're failing at life.
Well, I wasn't. First of all,
We want to know why you suck.
Darn. Darn diddy darn darn.
I wasn't done with my "That's What's Up." First
Oh,
of all,
sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I didn't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I took why? Because I got stuff to do. That's why. I don't know. I've got nothing. Also, you said June 6th, June 5th, Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. I don't know if I've said that, but
What's June 6th?
counting down to that, Brian Lake's
I think that's when his
Album.
new album comes out.
But I am looking forward to our Branson trip going to Silver Dollar City. That's
gonna be
coming
fun.
up, so
Yeah.
we're preparing for that.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yep. No new shows, just movies. Oh, we watched a new movie that had Bruce Willis and Megan Fox, and it was on Netflix. They were like detectives trying to catch this serial killer. It was pretty good. I can't remember, something in the tall grass,
Cool.
something like that.
Bruce Willis has not been
it was
making
decent.
great movies.
And he
lately.
was only in that for maybe 10 minutes total.
Really?
You know, just kind of in and out, but it was okay. It was an all right movie.
There was a show that Liv was watching, and I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was about this lady, and she was like a cleaning lady for this police department. And like the first episode was like,
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
they'll have like like the board with all the like the clues and stuff, and she like basically pieces it all together and all that, and she working as a detective. And then I can't watch it with Liv because the main detective makes me so mad.
Yeah, because
it's like, so there's one, it was like, I don't know, woman went missing or whatever, and I think it was like husband or boyfriend or someone like closely related. Well, he was out of town the week she disappeared, and he's like, okay. I'm like, you're not gonna look into that.
Right. Just
the main suspect says he was out of town.
Yeah.
The weekend she did. You're not that. You're good with. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's lazy writing.
Yeah.
I think. Well, and and there's multiple instances like that with the same character. I'm thinking they wrote this guy to be like that, and it's making me so mad.
Yeah. I got a game I'm looking forward to playing, Expedition 33.
That's a lot of.
What about 1 through 32?
That's what I was hung up on. Is that like the sequel number, or is it?
Why am I friends with you?
Is it the name of the expedition?
Oh, there we go. That is so much. Man, it is so much quieter in my ears. So anyway, I'm really excited about this game, man. I'm so pumped. It's going to be really good. It's on PlayStation, and I'm really pumped. It's probably going to be Game of the Year, but I'm really, really excited about it. Thank y'all for letting me talk about that and just being quiet. Appreciate it.
That's not nice.
I hated every moment of it. I'm sorry. I used the word. I severely disliked every moment of it.
Anything else on your heart?
I feel like I was going to say something, but I can't remember.
There's a shocker. Tyler can't remember, everybody. Shocker.
Hey, listeners, we just want to thank you for your continued support for the Almost Brothers podcast. Do us a favor and go to your favorite platform.
Oh, wait, I remember now. Crap. Never mind.
Much. Love you.